Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We are now entering the second to last week of the regular season. The season has just flown by, and the conference title races are starting to heat up. The college football playoff race is starting to heat up. And while many teams will be prepping for rivalry week next weekend, there's still a handful of massive games on deck for week 12, many of which we'll be breaking down today, many of which we'll begin breaking down tomorrow right here on the channel. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys, here with our Week 12 predictions, especially for the games that are flying under the radar. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Of course, check out everything down in the description below, including these bad boys right here, these expert picks. If you haven't signed up for them this year, we don't know what you're doing, but I can tell you it's never too late. Consider it our early Christmas gift to you. Expert picks that are on a 66-35 run. That's over 65% against the spread. It's on the best marks in the entire country, one of the lowest prices in the entire country, and it's a full year-long subscription. You buy now, you get it through November of next year. It's never too late to sign up. It's never too late to start winning big. Go sign up for those expert picks. Win big with us today and take advantage of some of the best spread picks in the entire country. So let's take a look at some of these picks, some of these straight up picks. The spread picks for these will be in our expert picks. If you want the spread for these games, go check it out. Again, go sign up today. But some of these games that will be some of the better games in the country starting on Saturday. Yeah, we have a handful of ranked versus ranked matchups, primarily Washington and Oregon State, Georgia, Tennessee, things like that. But these games are massive. And of course, the rankings are from the AP poll, not the playoff poll, because we've yet to see those. Those come out later today. We'll start up top, though. Number 2, Michigan at Maryland. Look, every game with Michigan from here on out, to me, is very interesting. Once again, Jim Harbaugh, unless that restraining order gets put in place, Jim Harbaugh is not going to be on the sideline for this game against Maryland. He's not going to be on the sideline for the game against Ohio State next Saturday. He wasn't on the sideline for their win over Penn State just last weekend. So Michigan, despite all the drama that has circulated this year, despite the fact their head coach is going to end up missing half the season for suspension, missed the first 3 games at the beginning of the year, going to miss the last 3 now, Michigan is still dominating, and for us, it's still the best team in the entire country. The reason this game is up here is just because of the intrigue factor that surrounds Michigan, but also this could be a look-ahead spot. Wolverines are playing great ball. They're angry. Got Maryland. Not a great Maryland team. We're looking ahead to Ohio State. And if they do that, Maryland could bite them. Here's the thing. Don't think it's going to happen. Michigan really has never looked ahead to Ohio State, at least under Jim Harbaugh. They've always played relatively well the weekend before the game. The Wolverines are averaging over 400 yards per game on offense. Maryland's defense giving up over 340 yards per game. And offensively, Maryland's one-dimensional. They don't really run the ball very well. They want to throw it to Talia Tagovailoa. They're facing the number 1 defense in the country, a Michigan defense allowing just 135 passing yards per game. This Michigan team just beat Penn State in Happy Valley by 9. That same Penn State team came into Maryland a few weeks ago, beat the Terrapins 51-15. Should also be noted, Michigan has won every single game at Maryland by at least 28 points. The Wolverines win big against the Terrapins and head into what should be an undefeated showdown against Ohio State next Saturday. Number 9, Louisville at Miami. This is huge for everything, right? Louisville is going to the ACC championship game. That's happening, right? They're going to play Florida State. That's happening. But the college football playoff hopes, the slim ones the Cardinals have, are still alive. They're a top 10 team in the country. If they can beat Miami, if they can beat Kentucky, they'll enter the ACC championship game against Florida State at 11-1. If they somehow beat the Seminoles, they would have an argument to be one of the top 4 teams in the country. Don't count out the Cardinals just yet. But by the end of Saturday night, you can count them out because they will lose to Miami on Saturday. And here's why, guys. Look, Louisville's done phenomenal under Jeff Brom. It's been one heck of a year with the first-year head coach, but Louisville has not played on the road very much this year. This is just their 3rd true road game. They played 2 other neutral site games against Georgia Tech in Atlanta in the season opener and against Indiana in Indianapolis. Their 3rd true road game. But they've been dominant at home, right? Cardinals have been dominant at home, with the exception of last week against Virginia. Their road games, or games just away from home, not so much. Not so much. They've won their away games by an average of 3.8 points per game. They've been very, very close. Been very, very close. And one of those road games was a dominant loss to Pittsburgh, their only loss of the year, 38-21. So they're barely surviving on the road. They're dominating at home. This game now on the road against Miami team that played Florida State very close last week, only losing 27-20, and Miami defense that ranks 7th in the country versus the run, allowing just 86 rushing yards per game. One of Louisville's strengths is the run game, led by Gerard Jordan. They are going to rely on that ground game to try to get them the win. Miami won't allow that to happen. The Hurricanes at home get a signature win of the year, get their 7th win of the year, and ruin Louisville's slim college football playoff hopes in what could be the biggest upset of the day. SMU at Memphis. Look, the Group of 5 race is very, very intriguing. Tulane is the front runner to get a New Year's Six bowl berth out of the Group of 5, but in the American Conference, SMU and Memphis are challenging for that title and maybe challenging for a New Year's Six bowl spot themselves. Both of these teams right here are 8-2 on the year. The Mustangs of SMU are undefeated in conference play. Memphis right behind them at 5-1. So Tulane, SMU, Memphis, all battling, jockeying for a spot in the American Championship game. So the winner of this puts themselves in a prime position to get there and keeps the New Year's Six bowl hopes alive. The loser maybe takes himself out of both equations. Love the quarterback battle here. Preston Stone of SMU, already thrown for over 2,500 yards, against Seth Hennigan, who's thrown for over 2,800 yards. The two have combined for 45 passing touchdowns on the year. Both teams averaging over 285 passing yards per game. Both teams have electric offenses, both nearly averaging 40 points per game. Both offenses in the top 20. Both scoring offenses in the top 10. The difference in this game, though, is defense. SMU's got one. Memphis does not. The Mustangs are 11th overall defensively and ranked 13th in the country versus the pass. Compare that to Memphis, who is 112th in total defense, giving up over 416 total yards per game. SMU, to me, is winning this game. They are winning this game. Memphis, guys, in their last 3 weeks, they've won all those games, but in the last 3 games, they've allowed 130 points, winning those games against North Texas, USF, Charlotte, not necessarily world beaters, winning those games by an average of 6 points, including an overtime win against Charlotte last week. So Memphis is getting by the skin of their teeth. SMU, not so much. They got an offense that can match the Tigers. They've got a defense that's significantly better. They can overcome the road environment. Give me the Mustangs to remain undefeated in conference play and maybe become Tulane's biggest challenger, not just in the American, but for a New Year's Six bowl spot as well. UNLV at Air Force. Just like SMU Memphis, these two teams are both 8-2 and are the top 2 teams in the Mountain West Conference right now. Air Force being in this position isn't that surprising, right? Always pretty solid under Troy Calhoun, always a very dangerous team. UNLV, a major surprise to see them at 8-2 and in the running for a Mountain West Championship game. Keep in mind, the Rebels, guys, have not won 8 games since 2000. This is their first 8-win season since 2000, and they have an opportunity maybe get 10, 11 wins, maybe win a conference championship in their first year under Barry Odom. The Rebels are averaging over 36 points per game, 197 of those coming on the, or 197 yards coming on the ground, 227 through the air. They've got a top 40 overall offense and a defense that ranks 35th in the country versus the run, only giving up 124 rushing yards per game. And that's the battle here, right? UNLV to win this game, especially on the road at Air Force, they've got to find a way to stop the run and force a crap ton of turnovers, just like Army did to the Falcons just a few weeks ago. Air Force, though, they're averaging over 275 rushing yards per game. Go figure. It's what all the military academies do. They run the ball. They run that triple option. At home, I think Air Force is too physical up front. They're too physical in the trenches. They dominate the time of possession. As long as they hold on to the football, I believe this time they will, they dominate the time of possession, limit UNLV's opportunities with that explosive offense. The Rebels unable to counter, unable to get the win. It's close. Air Force wins, improves to 9-2, but this very well could be the first of 2 meetings we see between UNLV and Air Force. Very well could meet each other in just 2 weeks. Again, this time for the Mountain West Championship. And then finally, number 7, Texas at Iowa State. Look, I love the Big 12 this year. Love how chaotic it is. But if you are just a Big 12 advocate, you're rooting hard for Texas. Because if Texas does not win this game, the Big 12 does not have a shot of getting anybody into the college football playoff. Texas is their only hope. And right now, the Longhorns are atop the Big 12 standings. But behind them, there's a 4-way tie for second place. And that includes an Iowa State team that's 6-4 on the year, but yet finds themselves in a tie for second place in the Big 12 standings. So what Iowa State can do here, Iowa State can beat Texas and ruin their playoff hopes and keep their Big 12 title hopes alive. Iowa State's got a lot going on here. And look, Ames at night, not an easy place to play. This has all the makings to me of being an upset. The Cyclones have won the last 2 games in Ames. 3 of the last 4 between Texas and Iowa State have come by 1 possession, including a Texas win last year, 24-21, a controversial Texas win last year, we should add. But what this comes down to, it's a battle of the Texas offense, now once again led by Quinn Ewers, who's healthy. A Texas offense against an Iowa State defense that ranks 29th overall in the country. Pretty dang good. They're giving up just 204 passing yards per game. Pretty dang good. If the Cyclones defense can play one of the best games of the year and limit this Texas offense, they have a chance because they're going to need a strong day from their defense. Because the Iowa State offense ain't that great. They ranked just 94th overall in the country. Rocco Beck's been great, right? He's been playing pretty well at quarterback, especially considering everything that happened in the offseason with Iowa State. But the Texas defense ain't too shabby either. I like the Texas offense better. I like the Iowa State defense a little bit more, but Texas right behind them. Give me Texas to win a close game in Ames. But again, would not be shocked in the slightest to see this very underrated and dangerous Iowa State team pull off the win and create even more chaos in the Big 12. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think Texas is just too good, and they keep their playoff hopes alive at least for another week. So there you go, guys. These are 5 underrated games heading into Week 12. You know, we have a lot of cupcake games in there. Not going to be that exciting, not going to be that good. But we got a lot of great matchups. These are 5 of them. We got Washington, Oregon State, Georgia, Tennessee, Utah, Arizona, Kansas State, Kansas. Talk about chaos in the Big 12. All of those predictions coming out here on the channel starting tomorrow. Do not miss out on those individual prediction videos for the top 25 games. But keep your eyes on these heading into Saturday, guys. Not only will they play a major impact in conference races, but games like the Louisville game, like the Texas game, could have major impacts on the college football playoff race as well. Get ready, guys. Second to last week of the regular season, and things are really, in a way, just getting started. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including, again, these expert picks hitting over 65% against the spread, 66-35 run. If you haven't signed up, you're missing out on big guaranteed winnings. Go sign up for those picks today. Full year-long subscription, one of the lowest prices in the country. Our Christmas gift to you early. Christmas did come early. Go sign up. Take advantage of them. Again, thegridironexpert.com down in the description. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.